how many properties do you own, Jim?
Right now, two. We are definitely working on another, and
Okay.
but currently two. We have an Airbnb that we rent out a home, and then the one we're living in, and so that is essentially the extent of what we have. It's been great. I mean, you times that by 2, 3, 4, and that's the road to wealth, and that's the road we're taking.
Absolutely. Has the Airbnb been effective? And
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Before COVID,
Oh, yeah.
before COVID,
Sure.
Airbnb was doing really well. We switched it into a long-term rental, and that was our plan. We always said, look, we're going to turn this into an Airbnb, but we can always switch it to long-term if things go south, which ironically ended up going south with COVID. So the mortgage is being paid and then some still. Airbnb was the mortgage was being paid some times two,
Nice.
but we're still paying the mortgage, nothing out of pocket, and things are going forward.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And so the house is paying for itself.
Exactly.
It's paying all the interest, all the insurance, all the property taxes. You're making a little bit on top of that.
Yep.
And you continue to do that for X amount of years until it's paid off, and then you just own it outright.
That definitely right there. If you own a home, obviously you need to live a home when you retire, so you need a home to live in. But if you have, say, just one other home and you bought it now in 25 years, that home will probably be paid off, maybe 30 years depending. But as soon as that home is paid off, now you have $1 million, 600,000, 700,000, whatever it is. There's your retirement.
Right.
In that home, in the cash that home has sitting in it in equity.
Oh my gosh. So I really want to get into this. Let's quickly just say, okay, so how does that work? How does someone draw the value out of their home
When they sell it or
without selling?
Oh, without selling.
Because they've paid their home off and they're like, okay, I've now paid it off.
Yes.
I'm 1,000 years old. I want to retire but I just have this paid off home so I can live here for free.
Right.
Then what?
There's multiple things that could be done. You could just rent it and there's your $2,000-$3,000 a month coming in consistently. And if you want to live off that, plus retirement, great. If you want to sell it, you can sell it. And then you have your, obviously you're going to have taxes on that. Depending on what the tax code looks like at that point, you will be paying taxes. How much, who knows? But the remainder is sitting in your bank.
What about can you pull the equity out of that and go, if you want to stay in the home, pull the equity, so basically borrow against it?
Yeah, for sure.
Your home that's paid off.
Yes.
So say it's worth $1 million.
Yes.
How much would you be able to borrow against that?
Well, if you want to do like you're saying, like maybe a cash out refinance, and you take, you can do 80% of what it's worth. So you can do, say it's $1 million home, you can do an $800,000 cash out.
Okay.
You will now have a new mortgage, but then there's got $800,000 you can put into other investments.
Right.
Yeah.
That could then pay their own mortgage.
Yes.
Plus your new
mortgage.
refinance mortgage.
Exactly. Yeah.
And hopefully some for you on the side.
And that, I think, is the secret a lot of people use for their retirement plan. And because.
But not enough people.
Yeah. And we hope that not everybody does it, because then maybe there won't be enough homes, right? But
no, I am not worried about that.
There's no worry about that.
There's plenty to go around.
Plenty of homes to go around. But that is exactly it. If we're talking about the future, your future wealth and retirement, there's a lot of ways to go about it. You can invest in the stock market. You can do, I don't know, there's a bunch of other things. But this one is, of all the people I know, it seems to be the most successful. My dad invested in some real estate. He co-signed and things didn't work out because he was just going to co-sign, but he ended up with the properties. Mm-hmm. And they ended up being horrible properties. Mm. But because of appreciation, because they eventually were actually worth something, it took a while to get there, but now he has a couple apartment complexes. Yeah, essentially he has real estate that is paying him now, and he owns it outright. And so even though at the beginning it was a horrible setup, in the end, it actually turned out.
That's awesome.
And so if you started not in a horrible setup, you'll be even better off in the end. So his was a little bit, he got tricked, but anyways.
That have a good team behind you.
Yes, that is why you need a good realtor behind you.
And a great lender that you can trust, so you know what the hell is going on.
Yes.
Exactly. Every step of the way, you know what you're signing, you know what you're getting into. You've got someone who has your end goal.
Yes.
in sight with
Exactly.
you, not who's just trying to get a transaction closed, because
Yep.
that's where shit gets weird.
Yep. If someone's looking out for you, things should work out a lot better than if they're looking out for themselves. So, yeah,
Right.
that's the truth.